The moment Serena Whitmore glanced at the banking document lying on the worn wooden workbench, her heartbeat stopped. It wasn't the balance that caught her attention. It wasn't even the account holder's name. It was the account number, 16 digits she had unknowingly memorized over the years while reviewing confidential family financial reports. The very same account her late father had transferred $1 million every single month for nearly 12 years. Standing inside a dusty woodworking shop on a bright spring morning, the powerful CEO suddenly felt as though the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. Nothing in her successful life had prepared her for what she was about to uncover. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in hope, and subscribe to our channel, Spread Love Daily. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories with the world. Serena Whitmore had built one of the country's fastest-growing furniture companies after inheriting only a small part of her father's business empire. Known for her intelligence and discipline, she believed every success came through hard work. After her father's passing 2 years earlier, she spent countless hours reviewing old financial records, trying to understand every hidden investment and charitable foundation he had quietly supported. Among thousands of transactions, one mystery remained unsolved. On the first day of every month, exactly $1 million had been transferred to the same private account. There was never a description, never a company name, never an explanation. Every lawyer she hired failed to trace the purpose because her father had hidden the details through confidential trusts. Life continued until one ordinary Tuesday when Serena visited a small rural workshop that handcrafted custom furniture. She was searching for independent artisans to partner with her company. The shop belonged to Rowan Mercer, a widowed father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Ivy. Rowan wasn't famous, wealthy, or connected. He simply created beautiful wooden furniture with extraordinary care while doing everything possible to give his daughter a happy childhood after losing his wife to illness years earlier. The workshop reflected Rowan's life perfectly. Every shelf was organized, every tool carefully maintained despite years of use. Sunlight poured through the old windows, filling the room with warmth while sawdust floated gently through the air. Ivy sat quietly in a corner, finishing her homework while occasionally smiling at her father as he worked. Serena admired the craftsmanship. Every table carried tiny details impossible to reproduce with machines. She immediately recognized talent beyond anything her factories could produce. While discussing a potential partnership, Rowan received an urgent notification from his bank requesting verification for a routine transfer. He apologized briefly and opened his banking application. Serena accidentally glanced toward the screen as he entered the verification code connected to his account information. Her eyes froze. That account number. The impossible account. The one connected to her father's mysterious monthly payments. She tried to remain calm, but her thoughts raced wildly. There had to be some mistake. Surely thousands of accounts looked similar. Yet deep inside, she already knew it wasn't coincidence. After leaving the workshop, Serena drove directly to her family's private archive. She searched through confidential banking records late into the evening until she found another transfer statement. Slowly comparing each digit, she realized every number matched perfectly. The next morning, instead of sending investigators, Serena returned alone. She found Rowan repairing an antique rocking chair while Ivy watered flowers outside the shop. Looking at the peaceful scene, Serena struggled to believe this humble single father somehow received $12 million every year. But appearances could deceive. Rather than accusing him, she simply asked about his life. Hours passed as Rowan shared his story without realizing why Serena had become suddenly interested. He explained how he grew up in foster care after losing both parents at a young age. Without family support, he learned woodworking from an elderly craftsman who became his mentor. Years later he married his childhood friend, but illness took her far too soon, leaving him alone with a newborn daughter. Since then, every decision he made centered around giving Ivy a life filled with love rather than wealth. Nothing about his story suggested hidden fortune. Finally Serena asked the question that had haunted her. She quietly mentioned the mysterious account. Rowan's expression immediately changed, not with fear, but with sadness. He explained that he had never touched the money. Years earlier, a respected attorney had contacted him on behalf of an anonymous benefactor. Rowan was informed that substantial monthly deposits would arrive into a protected trust bearing his name, but strict legal conditions prevented him from withdrawing the funds until receiving specific written authorization. Since he already supported himself through woodworking, he accepted the arrangement without fully understanding it. The account simply existed while continuing to grow untouched. Serena could hardly believe what she heard. Billions of dollars had accumulated over more than a decade, yet Rowan continued living modestly inside the same aging workshop. The mystery deepened. Determined to uncover the truth, Serena searched through her father's personal journals stored inside an old locked chest. Hidden between handwritten business notes, she finally discovered a sealed envelope marked with one sentence. To be opened only when the right person finds Rowan Mercer. Her trembling hands unfolded the yellowed letter. Her father's words transformed everything she believed about her family. More than 30 years earlier, before becoming a billionaire, Serena's father had worked as an apprentice carpenter struggling to survive. One winter evening he suffered a terrible workplace accident that nearly claimed his life. A young orphan named Elias Mercer risked everything to rescue him from a collapsing warehouse. Elias was Rowan's father. The two men became inseparable friends, dreaming of opening a woodworking company together. But tragedy intervened. Elias died unexpectedly before their dream became reality. Heartbroken, Serena's father promised himself he would secretly protect Elias's future family forever. He searched for Rowan for years after the child disappeared into foster care but never succeeded until decades later when private investigators finally located him. By then Rowan had already built his own humble life. Knowing Rowan valued dignity above charity, Serena's father created the protected trust instead of giving him direct gifts. He hoped one day the money would provide security for Rowan's children without destroying the independence Elias had always admired. Serena couldn't hold back her tears. The mysterious transfers were never business deals. They were a lifelong promise between two friends. The following weekend Serena returned to the workshop carrying only the letter. She watched Rowan read every word slowly. Tears rolled silently down his weathered face. For the first time since losing his wife, someone had connected him back to the father he barely remembered. The money suddenly meant far less than discovering his family's forgotten history. Instead of simply handing Rowan access to the fortune, Serena proposed something far greater. Together they would build the woodworking academy her father and Elias had once imagined, a place where single parents, foster children, and struggling families could learn valuable craftsmanship without paying tuition. Rowan accepted immediately. Construction began within months. The old workshop remained exactly where it had always stood, becoming the symbolic entrance to the new academy. Ivy watched students from every background learn skills that restored confidence and created opportunity. Serena visited often, no longer as a CEO inspecting investments but as a friend honoring two extraordinary men whose loyalty survived generations. The academy soon became famous not because of its wealth, but because every piece of furniture carried a small engraved message underneath. Kindness is the inheritance money can never replace. Visitors often asked about those words. Neither Serena nor Rowan explained everything. Some stories became more powerful when carried quietly through actions instead of headlines. Years later, thousands of graduates opened successful workshops across the country. Many returned to teach future students, creating an endless circle of generosity that reached families who had once believed hope was beyond their reach. Serena finally understood the greatest lesson her father had left behind. Real wealth wasn't measured by millions sitting inside a bank account. It was measured by lives transformed through compassion that expected nothing in return. If this story touched your heart, please write the word kindness in the comments below. We'd love to know where you're watching from because every message reminds us that hope exists in every corner of the world. As the sun set behind the old workshop one peaceful evening, Rowan watched Ivy laugh with dozens of children whose futures had changed forever because of one promise kept across generations. Serena stood quietly beside him, realizing her father's greatest investment had never been financial. It had been faith in humanity itself. And if this story moved you, please like, comment, share this video with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Spread Love Daily. Together, we can continue spreading stories that remind the world that love, loyalty, and kindness never truly disappear, they simply wait for the right moment to change another life.